Ancient Rome actually figured out how to control the masses using, well, bread and circuses.
Right, keep them fed and entertained.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what if that exact same strategy is happening right now, like in your shopping cart or on your screens? Welcome to this custom deep dive where we're going to explore just that. We're looking at a seriously fascinating book called Bread and Circus by Airea D.
Yeah, and her background is just perfect for this. I mean, she's Philadelphia's poet laureate, but she also holds an economics degree from UPenn. So she takes this dense Marxist theory and just kind of crashes it into her own gritty childhood.
It really is a brilliant collision.
It is. And she takes this Roman concept of appeasing the public through distraction, right? And she uses it to diagnose our modern obsession with consumption. She pulls really heavily from Guy Debord's concept of the society of the spectacle.
Okay, so Debord argued that our lived experiences have basically faded into mere representation. But how does that actually play out for someone listening right now?
Well, think about the last thing you bought just because an influencer swore by it.
Oh, guilty.
Right. We all do it. Debord says that the spectacle, like the marketing or the promised lifestyle, is what you're actually buying. Because the moment you take that mass-produced object home, the spectacle just vanishes.
And you're left with just a piece of plastic.
Exactly. And that is what he calls its essential poverty. You buy it thinking it offers a shortcut to being unique, but it's just hollow.
So we aren't really buying products to express our individuality at all. We're just, I don't know, renting a temporary feeling of importance that totally evaporates the second we leave the checkout line.
That's a great way to put it. And Debord makes this massive leap from there. He actually argues that in advanced capitalism, the human body itself ultimately transforms into a fetishized commodity.
Wait, the human body?
Yeah. I won't spoil the mechanics of exactly how that transformation happens. Honestly, I'll leave you to investigate that terrifying rabbit hole on your own. But just think about modern wellness culture and how we constantly purchase literal upgrades for ourselves.
Oh, wow. That actually makes Matthews's poem Circus hit so much harder. Because she writes about heavily curated selfies and performative outrage online.
Totally.
Like, think about the last time you curated a photo for your feed. You aren't just sharing a memory, you are literally commodifying your own life for likes.
You are. But that shiny sort of digital obsession with consumption, it crashes violently into the cold reality of actual survival in her book. This is where Matthews drags the famous economist Adam Smith into the harsh light of her own childhood.
Right, because Smith is all about the invisible hand, the idea that rational self-interest balances the market. He famously said, we get our dinner because the butcher wants to make a profit, not at a charity.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have to push back on Smith here. How does that rational economic model work when you look at Matthew's actual life?
Well, it doesn't, and that's her entire point. I mean, during the brutal 1979 oil shock recession, her father wasn't making calculated, rational market choices.
No, not at all.
He was risking what little money they had on the hard six at the craps table just trying to get by.
And meanwhile, her mother was donated corn in their meals because her father hated the, what did she call it? The vestiges of a handout.
Right, so much for rational self-interest. Smith's sterile theory assumes a level playing field. But how does economic self-interest even function when you're just trying to survive on a queen-sized mattress on the floor playing Scrabble?
It's such a striking image.
It is. But the tragedy of her childhood isn't just that daily brutal struggle. It's that people fighting for their lives on a mattress on the floor, they don't get to write history. Those in power, the ones controlling the spectacle, get to rewrite reality to suit themselves.
Which brings us to the poem, We Was Kings. And I gotta say, this literally stopped me in my tracks. She details the true story of Scottish kings in the 900s, like Do the Black.
Yes, and centuries later, new rulers with lighter eyes commissioned portraits of those past heirs. But they didn't just alter the historical record in a book. They literally painted porcelain faces over the dark kings, leaving only the backgrounds dark.
It's just chilling. They actively overwrote reality. The history wasn't just forgotten, it was physically erased by the people who had the resources to control the narrative.
It really is wild. Which brings us right back to the title of Matthew's book. The Roman poet Juvenal observed that the sovereign people threw away their political power for just two things:
bread and the games of the circus.
Exactly. They traded their agency for a full stomach and a good show.
So if people in power still appease us through distraction, if the Roman Colosseum has just been replaced by the glowing algorithms in our hands and the next day deliveries in our carts,
which it arguably has,
then what are the modern daily distractions keeping you from noticing what is being erased in your own world?